Hey guys, what's happening? I'm going to talk to you today about Rainbow Token. If we go look at the chart, this just launched a day and a half ago. Not looking too shabby here. A lot of people in our group, in our private Discord, got into this in the pre-sale. They were whitelisted. It was pretty easy to do that. Now, in my case, I don't always have time to get whitelisted. I came in somewhere around here. And so right now it's about doubled. Now with the taxes and everything, I am still quite a bit up. I have not, for those in our tribe, you know the term that I use, RIP-FT. For those that are new, it stands for recoup investment, profit, and leave in free tokens. So you're no longer at risk, but you can keep profiting selling those free tokens as it continues to go up. I have not RIP-FT'd yet, even though I could, but a lot of people in our community have who got whitelisted. I'm going to wait because I've done so many RIP-FTs and I've profited so much with our strategy that now I'm willing to take a little bit more risk when I see a good project. And I think this is a good project. I'm going to talk about why, and the chart looks really good. I'm going to go over the tokenomics. I'm going to talk about why I'm not selling yet. Now, for those that are in our tribe, and I think this is beneficial for those of you who aren't in our Discord, just as you're considering strategy. Again, I'm not a financial advisor. I'm not recommending you do anything that I'm doing or that we're doing in our tribe, but this is a strategy that a lot of people are doing that's been really, really successful for us with these pre-sales and with these early Binance Smart Chain projects. So if you're in our tribe or just want to learn and you're listening in, if you're new to the process, let's put it in terms of when I was new, because I can't give advice. When I was new to this whole process, I found it extremely helpful early on to not overthink when to sell. Like maybe I'm at a profit, and a lot of people kind of get into this anxiety state, like, should I sell? I think it's going to go up. When I was new, I made the decision from a strategic perspective, and you always want to have a strategy or you start to get emotional and it starts screwing with you. And I just decided until I have like 30 wins, I'm just going to sell as soon as I can double or a little more than double. I'm not going to think about it. I don't care if it goes up because there's so many of these doing so well. Here's what I'm going to do if I'm new. And again, this is what you have to do. And by the way, I'm going to talk about Rainbow Token. I just want to speak to this for a second from a strategic perspective. And so if you haven't had a lot of wins yet, just taking a win can be extremely rewarding and beneficial because now we've had all these people in our community, for example, that have been new to this process. They got on the white list or they got in early and then it more than doubled. Now they've taken profit, they've recouped their investment, and they still got a lot of tokens in this that now are basically free because they have no risk exposure anymore. And now they've got profit to go put into another one, and they're not abandoning this project. They continue to leave those tokens in there, but at no risk. Now, in my case, though, because I've had so many wins, because I like what I'm seeing with Rainbow Token, and I'll talk about why, I haven't sold it all yet because I've been at this a while and I've had so many wins. I don't need that confidence. You know what I mean? And I see enough here to know that there's a really high probability this is going to keep going up. Again, not financial advice. This is just my strategy, my opinions. I'm going to share with you why I feel that way. You got to make your own decisions. And if you're looking for financial advice, you've got to hire a financial advisor. Okay. So let's look at the site and talk about why, I feel this is a solid project. Oh, I should mention as far as our strategy goes, we have RIP-FT, which stands for recoup investment, profit, leave in free tokens. So you're no longer having any risk exposure. You can leave those free tokens in the project, keep selling when they go up. We've had people make massive, hundreds of thousands of dollars literally in really short periods of time and time again with that strategy with some of the projects that has kept climbing. And they'd already recouped their investment and profited early. This is like common now. Now, some projects though, they do really well with hitting our criteria, our crypto pre-sales criteria that we look for. Pretty basic stuff like, are they communicating well in the Telegram leading up to the launch? Are they doing voice chats? In this case, Rainbow Token was doing video, so they were doxed and they were doing a video with I don't know if they were fully doxed. I haven't found proof of that. I saw somebody on our Discord say they were doxed, but then they were maybe just referencing that they were doing a video AMA. If you guys have more information on that, share with me. But they were being transparent enough in these ways and communicating well enough that they were hitting high marks on our crypto pre-sale strategy. They had a good number of people in their Telegram group. We knew that they had a history. These are the kinds of things we talk about leading up to the sell in our private Discord. We knew that they had a history with a previous project. And while apparently that project had ended up going belly up, they had done a fantastic job of building a loyal base of followers because they were transparent. They're doing some airdrops for people that switched over to this program. They took care of them, you know what I mean? And that's a big deal in this market. So all of those things had them score very high in the crypto pre-sale strategy. That's why a lot of people got in on this one. A day and a half ago, I purchased this one live on one of our insider calls in our private Discord as we talked about all of that. And as we looked in our Discord at all this, you got to do your research. Like I typed in rainbow here in our Discord. You got to find groups where you can really find organized information. And you can see if I scroll down, like someone posted it the first time on the 13th, which was almost a week before it ever launched, with all kinds of formatted information. We have a very specific format, so it's easy to follow. And then it was vetted by one of our vetters on the 14th, which again was days and days before it launched. Gave all the information that you needed. And then there was discussion about it, and that's where I learned very quickly. It only took me a minute or so. And this was on our calendar. That's how I knew about it. It was on, where's my calendar? It was on our calendar here for the 18th. I just clicked there. Like today, you see like 11 more, and it says the times. That's where I found it because it had been gone through the process that we have in our Discord. But my point is, and somebody said the dev is doxed for the Rainbow AMA. So again, if somebody has more details on that, I don't know if they were fully doxed because I don't see their full names or any links to LinkedIn or anything on the website. Maybe they fully doxed themselves in the Telegram group and it's not on the website. Or maybe she just meant in the AMA, I see, VC with video looks good for Rainbow. So people were discussing this stuff and they fully checked out is what I'm getting at, Rainbow Token, and built our confidence because they hit all the check marks for our crypto pre-sales criteria to have us get involved with a pre-sale. And so what I'm getting at though is a lot of projects, like looking at the chart here, will do well and then they'll launch and then they fall flat on their face. They stop communicating, you no longer hear from the dev or the founder anymore. And so we keep checking in with these projects and we keep checking in with other people in our Discord. We got lots of eyes and ears on all these different Telegram groups. So, we don't have to have our own, like I don't have to have my own eyes and ears on all these projects because we have so many people in our group, over 500, that are following the same strategy, who understand to bring these details and which details back to the Discord. My point is, if you're out there doing your research, you want to keep following these projects. Hopefully you're in an awesome group where you don't need to do that by yourself. But you need to keep following them because things can change. But so far, this one checks out. What I'm getting at is it checked out leading up to the pre-sale, but it also continues to check out their communication. I went in there, the lead dev answered my question. Like they're scoring high still, a day and a half after launch. And that's why I'm leaving in free tokens. What I'm getting at is sometimes our strategy is RIP, not RIP FT. RIP means recoup investment profit and you're gone. And, we're RIP FTing this. We're leaving in free tokens. And in my case, I'm not even selling anything yet because we like what we see. They're still hitting all the check marks of our crypto pre-sale strategy, doing all the right things. We continue to check in. We continue to watch. If that changes, then we'll sell out. But if they continue to do a good job like they are, then we continue to leave in those free tokens. And in my case, I won't sell yet. You know what I mean? Because I've already had so many wins. Before I RIP FT, before I sell anything, I'll just leave it in because I think this is going to go very, very high. Now let's talk about why. That just gives context to the whole strategy and everything that we're doing, and that you can apply in your own way or use it as you want to. But again, not financial advice. You got to make your own decisions. Do your own research. Okay, so on the website, I suggest the best place to go, at least right now, is the white paper. So I'm going to go, if you want to garner what's going on really quickly. And I want to focus on the tokenomics because that's really what makes this unique, beyond the fact that they are communicating well in the group and doing all the things that we look for to know that they're serious about the project and taking care of their community and continually developing. Beyond all that, it's really all based around the tokenomics. So I'm going to scroll down to the page that breaks those down. So basically, if you look over here, I don't know if you can read this, so I'll read it to you. Each transaction is taxed 7%, split into equal parts. So you see these 7 different protocols, and I'm gonna talk about what they are. That's where the tax goes, right? Which is a big part of what is helping the project grow, the investment price go up, is the tokenomics. So I'm gonna break that down. Now notice it says in parentheses, sales are double. So what that means is, on the buy, it's 7% tax. 1% goes into each of these 7 protocols that I'm going to go over in a minute. But on the sells, it's double. It's 14% sales tax. And it breaks down a little bit differently. I'm going to focus first on the buy tax of 7%. But just know the sales are higher, and there's an even higher sales tax when whales sell, when somebody sells a lot. So I'm going to talk about how that breaks down on the sales tax later. But to keep this simple for a moment, I'm just going to run through these 7 different protocols, what they are, and how that 7% is split up into 1% going into each of these. Just remember, when I'm done with that, I'm going to talk about the sales tax, which splits up a larger tax into these sections differently than the buy tax does, okay? So again, I'm going to run through the 7 protocols of how that 7% buy tax gets split up. Then we'll talk about the sales tax and how it gets split up. It's a little bit different. Okay, so burn, that's a common protocol that they're burning their tokens. That creates, a hyper deflationary environment, which is reducing supply and increasing the price floor. So it says a portion is permanently burned directly to the dead address, meaning they can't touch it. Like it's the dead address when you look at the PSC scan. Since the dead address also has reflections enabled on it, it causes a faster rate of burning. I mean, the big deal to this is they've got 1% of that 7% buy tax going towards burning tokens, okay? And that means there's going to be less and less tokens because they buy them and burn them on every buy purchase. They buy them and burn them. They put 1% of that 7% tax towards doing that. That has less and less tokens out there every day. That increases the price floor. That's a protocol that's pretty common. They've included it in here. I think it's pretty cool, pretty cool the way they've broken this up into 7 different protocols that are common, but the way they put them together and the way they explain it is unique. And I think that plus how well they're doing in supporting their team and communicating the vision and committed to development longer term, all of that combined together is what's making this, I think, a success. It's creating a lot of confidence, a lot of certainty. And they also had a lot of loyal people move over with them, which builds confidence for new people who see that. It's like you don't build that loyal following unless you've been taking care of them. Okay, so the orange one says number 2, it's the buyback. Everrise, I think, was the first to incorporate that in. It's where, in this case, 1% of the 7% tax goes towards their buyback program. So a portion is sold, and we know that's 1%. A portion is sold into BNB. So they take a part of the money coming in from the buy tax, they buy BNB, which is stored inside the contract. This BNB is then used to purchase back tokens after every sell. The purchased tokens are then permanently burnt, meaning the price permanently increases relative to the circulating supply. So they're, just say that simply, they're taking a percentage of every buy transaction, 1% out of the 7%, and putting it towards this second protocol, which has become very well known as a successful protocol called the buyback program, where they literally purchase the token, which helps increase the price floor. And then when they purchase it, they burn them, therefore decreasing the number of tokens once again, which creates a hyper deflationary environment, helps increase the price floor even more. Been a very successful protocol. That's number 2. Number 3, reflection. So this is also a common protocol, a successful one. A portion is reflected to every existing holder based on the amount of the total supply they're holding. So all that's basically saying is, it's rewarding you with more rainbow token. SafeMoon, I think, was the first to do that very successfully. It's become a very common protocol. So 1% of the 7% on every buy goes towards sending you free rainbow tokens for holding to reward the holders. Number 4 protocol, charity, also a successful protocol. Elongate, I think, was the first. I got into Elongate and SafeMoon very, very early, like when they were only a couple weeks old before both of those pumped. I think Elongate was the first charity token, if not one of the first, and they claimed they were the first, and they certainly did very well with it. A lot of people have used it afterwards. They've incorporated it in. A lot of people in communities like to see that. A portion, and we know it's 1% on the buy, is used to donate to charities that the development team and community feel strongly about. And they talk a little bit more about that. I won't go into detail on it. I want you to just understand these tokenomics and the breakdown. We really need to get to the sales because it is a little bit more comprehensive, and it wouldn't be clear from reading all of this unless you catch all of this later and they've updated all of this. So I want to get to those details in a minute. Number 5, liquidity. A portion is used to, and we know it's 1% on the buy, a portion is used to increase the size of the liquidity pool. This means as time progresses, the price impact of large sales goes down. All this is basically saying is part of every buy and sell, but we're just talking about the buy right now, 1% goes towards liquidity to build up that liquidity pool. Number 6, and by the way, for those that are new, liquidity, you need liquidity, like in PancakeSwap, for example. If there was no liquidity, you wouldn't be able to sell your token. So you want to see more and more automatically growing that liquidity. And this is the protocol that does that, because on every buy and sell, this liquidity pool is growing. A portion, and then number 6, marketing. You want to see this too. A portion is sold into BNB and sent to a marketing wallet. These funds are solely used for business and marketing purposes. So this is for development. You want to make sure they have strong development and advertising. And then lottery for number 7, a portion is held in the contract inside a side pot. These extra tokens are awarded to a random buyer. This is in order to increase the buy pressure and buy incentive. So every time you buy, you kind of enter into a lottery. And I'm not going to go into details because you could come back here and somewhere, it just, each of these pages in the white paper explains each of those protocols in detail. Here's what I wanted you to get that wasn't so clear. Well, what is clear? Let me start with what is clear. 7% of every buy is split up 1% between each of these protocols, okay? And that's really what makes this project unique, is that it's combined all of these and explains it really well. And then here's the part that they're going to explain a little bit better, and that is what happens on the sell. So you know that on the sell, it's double. So if it's 500 billion tokens, at least at the time that I'm recording this, if it's 500 billion tokens or less, it's a 14% sales tax, which is still pretty low in comparison to a lot of the tokens out there that have gotten a little outrageous on their sales taxes. There's a time and place for those types of tokens, but I do like this is a little bit lower than some of the outrageous ones lately. There's some that I've seen, you're getting charged, 30 some percent. So I do like to see this at 7% on the buy and 14% on the sell for lower sales. So 500 billion tokens or less, a 14% sales tax. How is that divvied up? Because it's not just double on all 7 protocols. It's a little bit different. So for that, I'll read down here where it says, for a buy, let me just read this to make sure I don't miss anything. For a buy, all 7 protocols receive 1% each, like we just explained. For a sell, protocols 1, 3, and 7 still receive 1%, while the other protocols make up the other 11%, okay? So 1, 3, and 7, 1 is the burn, 3 is the reflection, and 7 is the lottery. They all receive 1%, right? 1, 3, and 7. While the rest of them will get 11%, and I believe that's divided up evenly. That's what I was told in the Telegram group. It was just someone that it was the moderator telling me that. The lead developer came in and confirmed it. So I believe it's split up evenly between the other protocols. So 1, 3, and 7, the burn, the reflection, and the lottery each get, let me make sure I'm 100% on this, each still get 1%. And then the remaining ones get 11% equally divided, which if we go back here to the white paper, so that's 2, 4, so 2 is buyback. So the buyback program, that's a pretty powerful protocol. So it's getting more on every sell. And then charity, I'm kind of surprised they're actually giving it to charity, but that's cool. They're giving more away. I think a lot of people do feel good about the projects. We've seen like Elongate and so many others do that. So 2, 4, and then 5 is liquidity. We want to see that. We want to see liquidity growing. And then 6, which is marketing. I'll get an extra boost on the sales. Because again, the sales tax is 14% if we're talking about small sales, 500 billion and less. And so the buyback program, the charity, the liquidity and marketing, 11% on every sale gets split up between them. And then the burn, the reflections, and the lottery still get 1%. Okay, so what about when there's a whale sell, which right now is defined as a $500 billion sell and up? As far as I understand, it's 500 billion and up. Again, that could change from the time that I'm recording this. I don't know that it's changeable. I didn't confirm that, I should say, if that's a changeable variable, as the price changes or whatever. But what I read was 500 billion tokens and up is considered a whale sale. And in that case, it's a higher sales tax. And the way it was written, and this was copied from the lead dev writing this to me, for a whale sell, because I was asking these questions, for the whale sell, 1, 3, and 7 also still receive 1% each, while the other protocols make up the other 18%. Okay, so it's a higher sales tax when you're selling 500 billion tokens or more, at least at the time that I'm recording this, and that extra sales tax is going to those same other protocols, the buyback. So again, 1, 3, and 7, the burn, reflection, and lottery each get 1% when a whale sells, and it's getting that higher percentage. And then the rest get 18% divided equally. So the buyback's going to get a huge boost, which is good because that helps them buy back more and increases the price floor. The charity is going to get a big boost. And I'm kind of surprised they chose the charity, but I think it shows where their heart is. And it also has shown, history has shown, people love to see that. And then, you know, see them doing something good with this project. And then part of the 18% on the whale sales tax goes to liquidity and marketing, 18% divided up between buyback, charity, liquidity, and marketing. Okay, so we want to see that. We want to see liquidity increasing significantly. We want to see them have marketing power. A lot of the projects that you see doing really, really well right now have a lot built into their marketing and they use it. So, you know, that's really what sets this apart. You certainly go to the website and read about more. I think that white paper is where you really want to focus. And it does break it down, you know, what is burning. It's going to break down each of those protocols. What is buyback? What is reflection? For those of you who are new, talks a little bit more about the charity. What is auto liquidity? You know, it breaks down each of those different 7 protocols. But I wanted to make sure you understood how the sales tax was more and how it was broken up, because it didn't go into those details, but they did say they're going to add that and update that here. They've only been out for a day and a half. So again, you know, looking at the chart, you're seeing it starting to make another run again. And, you know, part of that could be the buyback program. It shows that if so, it's showing how effective it is. But I think it also has a lot to just do with how well they've broken down explaining how they're using those protocols, which builds a lot of confidence when they're able to break it down visually and explain it well. But also the fact they have a lot of a loyal following from a previous project that they took care of. And they, even though they transitioned out of that project, they took care of those people. And that says a lot, you know, and you learn from your mistakes. You know, if you're a team and you have that experience and background and you're able to transition to a new project and the community with you previously is happy about that transition because you took care of them, that says a lot, and it builds a lot of trust and confidence for new people coming in. And I would say in the Binance Smart Chain, that's probably one of the most important things to look for, that kind of loyalty and that kind of commitment to a project and to the community you're building, for being able to predict where these projects are going to go. So there's more to this. I would like to share that there is a utility that they have built into their roadmap. And let's see if I can find that quickly. It's a little bit further in the roadmap, but it is good to see we are seeing more and more of these projects. You know, they talk about security here. Again, you can dig into some of this. The team, which again, I was told this by my community that they were on video during the AMAs, and that's always good to see that level of transparency. Now here's the roadmap. So Q1, create a Telegram and Twitter. I mean, some of the standard things in Q1, but I want to get to Q2 and Q3. Launch the website, publish the white paper, host a private sale. Of course, they've done a lot of these things already. Host the public sale of Rainbow on DXL. Launch the PancakeSwap V2. Listing on CoinGecko. Now they are on CoinGecko. They've applied for CoinMarketCap. We're only a day and a half in, so they're not on CoinMarketCap yet. They are on CoinGecko. CoinMarketCap application has been submitted. Listing on BSC scan, that's happened. Listing on secondary listing services such as CoinHunt. Expand team of moderators. It's good that they listed that in there. I don't see that a lot in the roadmap. It's extremely important. Listing on at least one exchange. Adding live counters to website to show token price, market cap, holders, and circulating supply. Integrate wallet, web app into the website. All right, cool. And then Q2 development. Integrate buy section into the website. So you'll be able to buy directly from the website. That's a nice feature. Listing on multiple exchanges. Begin development on Bitfrost. So Bitfrost is, you know, a utility that they're building. Deploy, which is basically a launch pad. Deploy a proposal system and integrate an interface into the website for community-driven ideas. That's super cool. Let me read that again in case you missed it. Deploy a proposal system and integrate an interface into the website for community-driven ideas. I mean, see, I think that's where this group scores high. That's what I got out of the discussion with our Discord, the people in our Discord who follow these projects, and they shared. It's really what they were getting at is they're really good at working with their community, and that builds confidence and loyalty. And that's really what makes projects grow in the Binance Smart Chain, in the entire crypto space. for good reason. And then reach out to other projects for, I mean, think of Elon Musk, for example. You know, why do investors invest in him? Because over time he developed their confidence. Even long before he ever developed his first Model S car, he had to do that. You know, so it's not a new thing that, you know, if you're doing things that instill confidence and loyalty with the community of investors, that's going to be one of the number one, you know, one of the top predictors for your success, if not the number one predictor. Reach out to other projects for cross-marketing collaborations. Cool to see them actually write that down. Expand outreach and marketing strategies, hire extra programmers and experienced developers. And then Q3, launch Bitfrost beta and host our first ever successfully launched BP20 token. Announce our secret project Iris. I don't know what Iris is, but here it talks more about Bitfrost. We plan to launch a brand new decentralized self-managing token sell service called Bitfrost. So by token sell service, I don't know if that's the same, if they mean a launch pad, or by describing it as a token sell service, I don't know if they mean it's something different. I'm assuming there's kind of some difference there between how we might think of launchpad, or they would have used the word launchpad. And they do go into more detail to give us some clues. Bitfrost is a magical rainbow bridge that connects Asgard to the realms of space. By using it, Asgardians are able to launch themselves to wherever they please. So not real tangible explanation there, but it gets a little bit more clear. Current competitors offer token sell services that can be improved upon. And there's no question about that. We want to provide a service that has a clean, improved, and user-friendly interface. You know, DXL is an example of one that does not. Public as well as private pre-sales with whitelisting features, modifiable pre-sales, i.e. change the backing code, lower and provide more reasonable fees, can pair tokens with any token rather than just BNB, i.e. if you wanted a more stable token, you could use USDT or BUSD, improved customer support, obviously would be huge, better accommodation for modern BSC tokenomics. And we will offer a free discount if people pay using Rainbow. So it's creating a utility for Rainbow. It sounds like a launchpad / token sell service where new projects can launch and they have an idea of how they want to do, you know, go the extra mile. Now, it may not mean a lot by itself, but when you couple this and the way they've described it with even including a description of improved customer service, when you couple this with the track record they've already created in terms of the relationship, the loyal community they've built, the fact they were able to move a community from one project to another and the community's happy about it. And you know, they have a huge Telegram group, and it's a legitimately sized Telegram group. If we go in here, we'll see 11,000 members, you know, and it was much less than that just a few hours ago. So it's growing, and that's only a day and a half old. You know, when you look at how strong of a community they've built, and that they were able to transition from a project before, it's not pie in the sky anymore when you read, you know, that they're putting something together that they feel is going to stand out and, you know, have greater value in the marketplace in terms of, you know, a token sell service. You know, they're going to probably carry over some of their skills with building a loyal following and audience that they've proven already into this. So there's no guarantees that a project's going to build a utility just because they stated it, but I think there's a lot here that they've already accomplished, that these things I've talked about that give it a lot more merit. And these are the reasons why. These tokenomics, the way they've broken it down, the clarity in expressing it, the vision that they have of creating this utility, but I think more than anything, the fact that they've built such a strong, large Telegram group already, and that I know that they have this track record of being in a previous project that they committed to a long time, you know, and didn't just abandon everybody, but actually gave incentives and communicated and were transparent enough to transition to this new project and see that happen in a smooth way where the community came over and grow with this kind of early momentum already. It's these things that have me excited about it. And that's why, you know, as I look at this chart that's only a day and a half old, that's why I haven't sold yet. You know, even though I teach my strategy, again, I don't teach it as a financial advisor saying others should do it. That has to be a decision others make on their own. They have to do their own research, come to those conclusions on their own, hire a financial advisor if they need advice. I share it to share how I've been so successful in the Binance Smart Chain. I share the strategy from that perspective, from the experience that I had and how I used it. And how I used it was when I was early, I would rip FT on a project like this. So I could have more resources to work with, and I would have free tokens in here. And I had some where I'd put in like Pathfund, I put in 5 BNB, and then I sold around this point, and I got my 5 BNB back, and I left in free tokens. And and then it looked like nothing was happening. And like 3 weeks later, that was worth 50 BNB, which at the time, BNB was a little lower, is 150 grand. And then I sold. There are other projects where, like SafeMoon, where as it climbed, I sold a little, and then I sold a little, and then I sold a little, and I sold a little. But very early, I was able to rip FT, recoup investment profit. So the tokens I had left in there, the free tokens, there was no more risk exposure. And I just keep selling as it went up. It's crazy how much I was able to make. Elongate, same thing, and so many others. So I kind of passed on to people, not recommending that they do it because I can't make those recommendations, but just sharing that. I'll put some links below if you're interested. If you're brand new to all of this, I've got a free class on it. If you're interested in our Discord where we learn about these pre-sales, we have hundreds and hundreds of people that are following the same strategy, that follow a workflow. We have a dump truck where we just dump everything in it. We have a bucket where trained people, hundreds of them, following the same protocol, will put these projects in an organized fashion in the same order. So it's easy on the eyes, super clean. And then once it gets in there, our vetters who are even more trained vet it with a lot more detail. And then we got insider notes. The insiders are meeting up every day discussing these things. You know, just a day and a half ago, I was on the insider call with our insiders, which are the ones contributing to all of this. You could be in here and just kind of just take the information, or you can be an insider and kind of be more on the calls and have access to more resources for free. But that's when I did a Rainbow token, was on the insider call live. And then on our calendar, when for the insiders have access to the calendar. The dates change and stuff. Sometimes on these launches, we update it and we update the calendar. Super, super cool. It's just really well organized. It's super, super awesome. If you're interested in that, I'll share some links below. But yeah, I'm really excited about Rainbow Token. I'm going to show you how to buy it. Almost forgot for those that are brand new to this. So you need the token address, and you usually can get that from a website. They have it on their website. If you on other projects, if you can't find it in the website, go to their Telegram group in the pinned post. And I need to copy this. This address. And I clicked on it. It took me to the B scan. I just need to copy that address. You know what I mean? Like, for some reason, it's not like letting me copy it from here. So I just clicked that, opened up B scan. This is the same address, and I just copied the address part, just this part from right here, the numbers and letters. So you copy that, which again, is right here. And then, always copy it, don't type it, or you could miss it. Obviously, it's a long number. And then you go to PancakeSwap, you hit the drop down, and you enter in, I paste that in, and then it will say Rainbow. Rainbow comes up. And I click on that. Now I've got it in Pancake. And then I hit that little arrow to switch that around. I would purchase it with BNB. Now this is a test account that I use just sometimes for just showing you how to do this kind of stuff. So I'm not going to actually buy it because I've already bought it with other accounts, Rainbow Token. But that's how you do it, and then I should mention, when you're setting the slippage right here, it had recommended 8% because there's a 7% buy tax. And then you need a little slippage in case the price moves. Slippage just means, like, if the price changes, what are you willing to pay, to allow to go through if the price is moving. So if you were to say 8% here on slippage, that would mean you're willing to pay an extra 1% on slippage because the buy tax is already 7%. I hope that makes sense. Now, what I actually do here, if the price isn't going too crazy, if it's kind of a mellow time, I'll go 0.01. And a lot of you might not know about this. I don't know, but I go 0.01. But to get it to go through, you have to do a little finagling, and I can't actually show you it. I'll have to do that in another video. Just remember that if you do the really low slip, it's still going to charge you the 7%, but it will still go through. But you might have to change the last digits of the number to 000. And if that doesn't work, you might have to go back to 4-digit, the last 4 digits being 4 zeros. Now, if you don't want to dink around with that, it's a little bit more technical. It's not that hard if you listen to what I just said and do it. But if you're having trouble, just put it on 8%. If that doesn't work, you can go to 8.5. If that doesn't work, you can go to 9. Again, if the price is moving a lot, that has to be a bigger number. But again, I have a little trick of going 0.01, and I just have the last 3 or 4, sometimes 5 digits of the number that I'm buying for Rainbow, the 0. You can usually get that through. If you're having trouble, it means the price might be moving around a lot. Then I might set it to 2. And again, it's still going, if I set it to 2, it's still going to charge you the 7% tax, but you can end up paying a lesser tax. But you might have to change like the last digit to 0 or the last 2 digits to 0 in that case. Again, if you don't want to dink around with that, just, it suggests putting it at 8 because that's 7% for the tax and then 1% to allow for slippage. But if the price is moving a lot, you might have to increase that to 8.5 or 9. And you just put the order through and you got it. So I hope that was helpful, guys. Again, if you're interested in what we're doing in our Discord, I mean, it's the most organized, phenomenal group of people in the market where we find these cryptos, we discuss them, not just before they launch, but also after. And if you want to learn about our crypto presale strategy, there's a free class I'll put below. And then there's a 2-hour class you could buy. If you're not very experienced, but you want to know everything that I was doing before I put together the Discord, you want to do this on your own, buy the class. And if you already have experience, you can just come into our Discord and hop right in. It's working phenomenally well. In fact, I'll put a couple links to results people are getting. It's insane. It really is. And I know a lot of people are doing really well, but it's just extremely organized. It's just much easier. You save so much time. You're able to leverage so many people who each do a little, who contribute a little, to have our eyes and ears everywhere and be able to sort for the next 100x much faster every day. All right, guys, I hope this was helpful. Let me know if there's anything I missed, anything you like about this project. Maybe you knew the devs or the founders in the previous project. You want to say a good word. Let me know what your thoughts are. I'm definitely going to leave my tokens in. I love the way this chart looks. For the reasons I shared, I love the project. I will rip FT at some point, but I think this can go much, much higher before I do. All right, guys, we'll see you soon.